Today we are going to start a new chapter called Property, Plant and Equipment, LKS 16 or IAS 16. And today's session is about recognition. First, we'll see the objective of this standard. The objective of this standard to prescribe the accounting treatment for property, plant and equipment so that users of financial statements can discern information about entities' investment in property, plant, and equipment, and changes in such investment. I hope the word called property, plant, and equipment is not new for all of it's not for all of you. You are very uh, familiar with this term. Therefore, I don't want to explain again and again what is the PPE. Um, and we are going to discuss more importantly the most important concept, right? uh, Concept of property plant equipment we have to discuss in the form of recognition. How do we recognize the things as property plant and equipment, and how do we measure initially, and how do we measure and subsequent expenses, and how do we make depreciation and impairment of loss impairment, right? So the principal issues in accounting for property, plant, equipments are the recognition of the assets. How do recognize an asset as property, plant, and equipment? The determination of their carrying amount. How do we measure, right? Determination of their carrying amount and the depreciation charges. Impairment losses to be recognized in relation to them. So these are the objectives of LKS 16. When we talk about the scope, our area, the areas covered under this LKS 16 is this standard shall be applied in accounting for property, plant, and equipment, except when another standard requires or permits a different accounting treatment. So, for example, this standard does not apply to, there are certain assets. Maybe it's look like property, plant, equipment, but such assets cannot be recognized, categorized under LK 16. So because of which are covered in other standards. For example, property, plant, and equipment classified as held for sale in accordance with SLFR, Sri Lanka Financial Reporting Standard 5. Non-current assets held for sale. The name of the standard is non-current assets held for sale and discontinued operations. You know that uh, in the normal terms, normal operations, office building is an asset and it's coming under property, plant, and equipment. But for companies, for organizations which are constructing office buildings and resell, right, construction of uh, apartments, for normal companies, normal organization, these are considered as PPE. But for the construction companies, the company has engaging in buying and selling building, land, real estates. So for that kind of uh, assets, for that kind of organizations, it should be categorized as non-current assets held for sale. It's kind of inventory, right? Not so inventory. That's what within 1 year, within 1 year, the resources. But the assets are non-current assets, but cannot be included as PPE. But these PPEs are these non-current assets are held for sale, like inventory, real estate business, and biological assets related to agricultural activity other than bearer plants. You know what is bearer plant? Say apple tree. Right? Apple tree will give you economic benefits for a period of time, for 5, 10, 20 years period. It give you fruits. Mango trees, it gives fruits. Palm trees gives fruits. So this kind of tree is called bearer plant. And rubber also give you some sort of benefits to you. But you can measure it will correctly the lifetime of the tree. So these are called bearer plants, which bearer plant is covered under the agriculture LKS 41. Biological related to agricultural activity other than bearer plants, LKS 41. This standard applies to bearer plant, but the LKS will be applied for bearer plants, but it does not apply to the produce on bearer plant. So the non-current assets held for sales is covered in SLFRS 5, therefore it cannot be included in SLS LKS 16. And bearer agricultural undertaking, agricultural plant is covered under the 41 LKS except bearer plant. And the recognition and measurement of exploration and evaluation assets, mining, you know, so from the earth extracting, say gold, right? Then what do you call the diamond, gems. The recognition and measurement of exploration and evaluation assets. Or SLFRS 6 exploration for and evaluation of mineral resources, minerals, especially like in Sri Lanka, they have what on the east coast of island, but we have ilmenite. It is covered under the SLFR 6, therefore it not come under LK 16. Mineral rights and mineral reserves such as oil, natural gas, and similar non-recognizable resources and non-regenerative resources. So these are not coming under the scope of property, plant, and equipment. However, this standard applies to property, plant, and equipment used to develop or maintain the assets prescribed in B to D. So these assets, agricultural undertakings, to maintain the agricultural product, there are so assets, the property, plant, equipment are used for that. So that time it's considered as a LK16. And here tools, you know, resources coming under PP. Other standard may require recognition of an item of property, plant, and equipment based on an approach different from in this standard. For example, leasehold assets. If you purchase machinery on leasehold in financial lease or operating lease, you have to recognize that asset as a leasehold properties. Leasehold properties. Most importantly, in operating finance. So that time it should be taken under the lease LKS 17. For example, LKS 17 leases require an entity to evaluate its recognition of an item of lease property, plant, equipment on the basis of transfer of risk and rewards. You may study it about leases and sale of goods in previous semester or previous years. However, in such cases, other assets of accounting treatment, right? In such cases, other aspects of accounting treatment for these assets, including depreciation, are prescribed by this standard. Even though the asset purchased, asset recognized under finance lease or operating lease, for depreciation charges, for depreciation will be applied LKS 16. An entity using the cost model for investment property in accordance with LKS 40, that is investment property, shall use the cost model in this standard. Okay, let us see some recognition criteria for in this example. Right. The question: describe whether the following items are governed under LKS 16 or not. Provide your justification. We have to decide whether the given assets can be categorized as PP, LK16 or in other standard. A. Entity owns a herd of cattle. Herd of cattle, like you may say, for example, the cow, right? Group of cow. The original terms are herd of cattle that form the breeding stock of its agricultural activities. The entity also owns a tractor and trailer used to transport feed to the cattle. So what is your opinion? An organization is having a herd of cattle, a group of cows, for example, for you understand. From the breeding, right, cattle from the breeding stock, it is used to you can get milk from there. So it's an agricultural activities. The entity also owns a tractor and trailer used to transport feeds to the cattle. So what do you say about this? Answer. Although the cattle arguably meet the definition of property, plant, equipment, they are tangible assets used in the production of calves in more than one accounting period. Yes, definitely that cows can be maintained more than 1 year and that cow is tangible. They are accounted for as biological assets, right? They are accounted as biological assets, living things, biological assets. They are outside the scope of LK 16, right? The herd of cattle cannot be recognized as LK 16 since biological assets. The tractor and trailer are classified as items of property, plant, and equipment because tractor and trailers are used to maintain or develop the cattle farm, right? Herd of cattle. They are physical assets used in the supply of goods during more than one reporting period, as the tractor and trailer are not biological assets. Therefore, it can be tractor and trailer can be recognized under LKS 16. B. An entity acquired a license to operate a taxi in a major city. An entity or we have purchased a license or acquired a license to operate taxi in a major city. Is it LK 16? No. The taxi license is not an item of property, plant, equipment. It is intangible in nature. It is an intangible assets. So intangible assets cannot be included under the property, plant, and equipment LK 16. And we'll see. And entity pays a government for 100-year rights to use a land on which it plans to construct a building. Freehold ownership of land is not possible in the jurisdiction, right? A land has taken for 100 years lease to construct a building or construct an apartment, so on. So does it can be categorized under LK 16? So see the ownership. Freehold ownership of the land is not possible. you couldn't get the ownership of the asset. The payment to the government is treated as prepayment on lease, like prepaid expense. The lease would be classified as an operating lease because it does not transfer substantially all the risks and rewards incidental to the ownership. The operating lease would be accounted for under LKS 17 lease, except in the special case in which it classified as investment property and required when LKS 16 will follow. Now we'll see the definitions. We have to study, we have to keep in your mind the definitions. Definitions given in LKA 16. Property, plant and equipment, PPE, are tangible items. First, it should be a tangible items that are held for use in the production or supply of goods or services. For example, it helps for delivery of items, delivery of supply of goods or services. For rental to others, we have a building, we have shop buildings, we have shop rooms, and we can give that rooms, buildings for rent for the purpose of earning rent income. So that building can be categorized as property, plant, equipment. Or for administrative purposes. So we have building, we are using that building for your administration. So also coming under LK 16. And are expected to be used during more than 1 year period. More than 1 year period. Then we can categorize as non-current assets. It should be a non-current assets and it should meet criteria LK 16, that is tangible, and it should be used for the production or supply of goods and services, or the rental to others, or administrative purposes. Then let us see a carrying amount. Carrying amount, CAM equal carrying amount, is the amount in which an asset is recognized after deducting any accumulated depreciation and accumulated impairment losses. Carrying amount equal accumulated depreciation minus any impairment losses, if they are, right? That's called carrying amount. We have discussed about carrying amount in the previous chapter, LKS 12, income taxes, carrying amount and tax base sort of thing. Bearer plant. As I explained to you, the plants giving you fruits or something like that. A bearer plant is a living plant. It's a living plant. Is used in the production or supply of agricultural produce, right? The bearer plant, the living that it is used in the production or supply of agricultural produce, and is expected to bear produce for more than one period, and has a remote likelihood of being sold as agricultural produce, except for incidental scrap sales. Right? End of the usage period, we can get some scrap value. Right? We can cut the tree and we can solve it after getting the benefit from that plant. Paragraph 5A to 5B of LKS 41 elaborate on this definition of bearer plant. So you can find the examples, bearer plant, sugar cane roots. What do you mean by sugar cane? Sugar cane means, so the people are planting, you know, the sugar cane. So I can show you the next slide. This is sugarcane, right? Everybody knows. This is what? Sugar cane. Sugarcane roots that produce standing sugarcane. Sugar, right? The roots, sugarcane roots. It can be used for more than 3 years, almost 3 years. Sugarcane, the roots, sugarcane roots. So this is what sugarcane roots. So it can be used, right? This can be used for more than 3 years. Year one, plant the sugarcane and get the benefit. Second time, it will be grow and cut it and get the benefit. And the third time also can be get the benefit, right? It will produce more, like right, banana tree, like that. And tea bushes that produce tea leaves, the tea estate you can find. Coffee plants, coffee plants that produce cherry, cotton plants that produce seed cotton, oil palms that produce oil palms fruits. So these are the examples of bearer plants. Then here, bearer plant, right? Bearer plant, earlier it was recognized under LKS 41 as agriculture undertaking, but according to the new amendments, it is considered as LKS 60, right? It is transferred from LKS 41 to 60 recently. Cost. Cost is the amount of cash or cash equivalent paid, right? Cash or cash equivalent paid at the time of purchase of PPE, or the fair value of the other consideration given to acquire an asset at the time of its acquisition. At some time you may purchase assets without paying cash. Anyhow, you pay something like variable for them to purchase rather than paying cash. That is called uh, other consideration. Or construction, or where applicable, the amount attributed to the asset when initially recognized in accordance with the specific requirement of other SLFRS. For example, Sri Lanka Financial Reporting Standard 2, it says share-based payment. Rather than paying cash, purchase through exchanging shares, share-based payment. We know that every shares have its own value, is determined by the market and other factors. Depreciable amount, the definition, the depreciable amount is simply what? Cost minus accumulated, cost minus scrap value equal what? Depreciable amount. Is the cost of an asset, is the cost of an asset, or other amount substituted for the cost less minus its residual value. Cost minus residual value equal depreciable amount. Depreciation, DPN, depreciation. Depreciation is the systematic allocation, not random allocation. It should be a systematic allocation of depreciable amount. You know what is depreciable amount? Uh, Cost minus scrap value. That's depreciable amount of asset over its useful life, say 5 years. Cost minus cost minus scrap value divided by life of the assets, useful life, called depreciation. Entity specific value. Entity specific value is the present value of cash flows. The present value of cash flows an entity expects to arise from continuing use of an asset and from its disposal at end of its useful life, or expected to incur when settling liability. Entity's value. So value the item assets based on their future cash inflows. Based on their future cash inflows. Fair value, sometimes called market price. Fair value, the price that would be received to sell an asset. The price that would be received to sell an asset or paid to transfer a liability in an orderly transaction between market participants and measurement date. Market participant and measurement date. So simply fair value means a market price, market value. Impairment loss. Impairment loss. Some assets suddenly its values are reduced. Suddenly the values of some assets are reduced. That time impairment will be made on this. Impairment loss is the amount by which the carrying amount of an asset exceeds its recoverable amount. Now that recoverable amount, you know what is the recoverable amount? We can realize at the time of sale. Say we can sell it for 50,000, but our carrying value says 90,000. So this time we have to reduce, we have to impair the assets by 40,000. Then the fair value or recoverable amount will be get. Carrying amount is higher than its recoverable amount. That time impairment had to be made. And recoverable amount is the higher of assets fair value less cost to sell and its value in use. You might study it in LKS 12, LKS 2 inventories, right? Net realizable value. Net realizable value, that's called here recoverable value. Recoverable amount is the higher of an asset's fair value, market price, less cost to sell. So for example, market price is 100,000. To sell this asset, you have to spend 10,000. Then what? How much the value? 90,000. And we have to compare this 90,000 to its value in use. When we use this, how much is valuable? Recoverable amount. The residual value, salvage value or scrap value. The residual value of an asset is estimated amount that is the estimated amount that an entity would currently obtain from disposal of the assets. Disposal of the assets. How much you will get when you dispose the assets after deducting the estimated cost of disposal. At the time of sales, you will get some sort of expenditure, selling expenditure. If the assets were already of the age and in the condition expected to the end of its useful life, you know that after use the assets, we have to sell the asset to somebody else, at the end of the useful life. Entity would currently obtain from disposal of assets after deducting estimated cost of disposal. If the assets were already in the age and in the condition expected at the end of useful life. Useful life is a period. Useful life is a period over which an asset is expected to be available for use by an entity. How long it can be used, or how many units can be produced using that measure of the property. The period, it may be expressed in the form of time or period. The period over which an asset is expected to be available for use. Use mean we have to get benefit from that asset. Keep the asset without any use cannot be considered as in use. And the number of production or similar units expected to be produced, expected to be obtained from the assets by an entity. Like for example, toner. If you purchase toner, we can get 1,000 copy, 5,000 copy, 3,000 copy, 10,000 copy, like that. The toner lifetime of the toner is depends on the number of copies. Summary in notations. CAN, carrying amount equal cost minus accumulated depreciation plus impairment loss. Okay. Depreciation equal depreciable amount over useful life period. Depreciation. And revaluation, revaluable amount, realizable value equal estimated selling price minus cost for transaction sales. Depreciable amount equal cost minus residual value. So here is a residual value, right? It's a residual value equal estimated selling price minus cost to sell. And estimated value, entity sales. So entity specific value. Entity's specific value equal present value of future cash flows. Present value of future cash flow. Impairment loss equal carrying amount minus realizable amount. Impairment equal carrying amount minus realizable amount. Realizable amount equal maximum of fair value minus cost to sell the item and value in use. So we compare these two value and you take maximum value, then it will get equal to realizable amount. And here this is our framework about our standard. Here we have to discuss these things. We can say this is our syllabus, LK 16 syllabus. 16, the content of LK 16. Principal issues in accounting for property, plant, equipment. Mainly there are three: recognition, measurement, and disclosure. Recognition, measurement, disclosure. Under the recognition, there are two things we have to discuss. Recognizing the initial cost. Recognizing the initial cost at the time of purchase, at the time of acquirement, at the time of construction. Recognizing subsequent cost. So we purchased the assets after using the asset for a period of time, and we have to make some repair, a major improvement. Then how do we recognize that expenditures? And measurement. In the measurement, we have to discuss measurement at recognition, an element of cost and measurement of cost. And measurement after recognition, again it can be divided into two: a cost model and revaluation model. And we have to discuss further depreciation and impairment. And finally, we will discuss about disclosure. Recognition principle. First, we are here. Recognition principle. The cost of an item of property, plant, and equipment shall be recognized as an asset if and only if it's probable that future economic benefits associated with the item will flow to the entity. We consider as an asset, it will generate future economic benefits. That benefits should inflow to the entity. And the second criteria, the cost of the item can be measured reliably. If these two are met, then we can recognize as an asset, not PP. It's an asset, right? How do we recognize PP? How do we recognize as an asset as an PP? How? These are the criteria. First, we have to ask question. Cost of an item of property, plant, equipment can be measured reliably. Is it possible to estimate the cost of an item? Cost of an item? If the answer is yes, then we move to here. Future economic benefit associated with the item will flow to the entity. In the future, are there any economic benefits? If the answer is no, it cannot be categorized as PP, not a PP or an expenditure of the year. Yes, if the answer is yes, there is a future economic benefit. If the answer is yes, then we have to answer this question. Cost of the item can be measured reliably. Cost of the item can be measured reliably. If yes, it can be recognized as PP. If unable to estimate the cost reliably, it will considered as not a property, plant, equipment or an expenditure of the year. Recognition, spare parts and servicing equipment. Spare parts and servicing equipment. Spare parts and servicing equipment are usually carried as inventory. Usually carried as inventory and recognized in profit or loss as consumed. Say you have a motor car. You have a motor car. The motor car is categorized under property, plant, and equipment. Tire is in spare parts. You have an additional tire. You have extra tire. Do you recognize as PP or an inventory? It's an inventory. Not a. We cannot add that parts, spare parts into the PP, right? Then you have installed you have changed spare parts for your machine, right? So that's an expenditure. You have to, if you have any spare parts in stock in your organization, in your business, that should be treated as inventory, not PP. Let us discuss this recognition on spare parts and servicing equipments. An entity manufactures chemical. An entity manufactures chemicals. It services its manufacturing plant using common low value tools acquired from local hardware stores. Right? Uh, entity manufactures chemical. It produces chemical, right? Produce of oil, some agricultural chemicals. It services its manufacturing plant using common low value tools acquired from the local hardware store, screwdriver or other sort of servicing equipment, oil, grease, like that. State whether that equipment amounts to assets or expenditure for the year. Small items, So grease like things, equipments. So for example, spray, oil spray, small value item, right? The answer is the sales equipment tools are not items of property, plant, equipment. They are inventories. They are inventories. The tools are not unique. Tools are not unique to the servicing requirement of the entity's plant. Entity's plant. So for some instances, the equipments cannot be get from the normal shop. The servicing item cannot be purchased in local market. If it is a very specific item, that item is unique only for the particular equipment, it can be taken from outside the market, local market, then it can be considered as a valuable item. Then based on the judgment of the management, it can be considered as PPE. Here, major spare parts and standby equipments, major spare parts, right? High value items. However, major spare parts and standby equipments mean so in the aeroplane, normally it consists of two engines. At a time, one engine works. In case of emergency, in case of repair, when it flies, the second engine will start to work. And likewise, generator, right? Generator, it normally not use. It will use in case of power cut, national power cut. That time, it's called what? Standby equipment. However, major spare parts and standby equipments qualify as property, plant, and equipment when an entity expects to use them during more than 1 year. See the generator, it no normally the generator is used more than 1 year and not frequently used. Right? See the illustration. A private hospital has installed two identical backup generators. Here the generator in this example, generator. A hospital installed two identical backup generators. The first backup generator provides electricity when the supply from the national grid is interrupted. The second backup generator will be used is unlikely event that the first backup generator fails when the supply from the national grid is interrupted. State whether the backup generator are the assets or expenditure and why. Here, this is a scenario. A hospital has two generators. One generator will be used in case of power cut. The second generator will be used when national power cut as well as the first generator under the repair or in case of uh, unable to operate. So can be categorized as PPE and LK16? Yes, both backup generators are items of property, plant, equipment. The standby equipment is expected to be used more than 1 year, one accounting period, and albeit irregularly, right? Yeah, unique or specialized servicing equipment. Unique or say specialized servicing equipment. Similarly, if the spare parts and servicing equipment can be used only in connection with item of property, plant, equipment, they are accounted for as property, plant, equipment. Right? The parts, or not the parts. The say it is not a component of PPE, but in additional part, it is used only for that machine, right? It can be used only in that machine. Specialized right, specialized cutter, specialized unique brush, right? This standard does not prescribe the unit of measure for recognition. Right? The standard does not prescribe the unit of measure for recognition. That is, what constitute an item of property, plant, equipment. But here the judgment is required in applying the recognition criteria to an entity's specific circumstances. Here, whether it's unique or specialized, whether to include or not, it should be based on the judgment of the management, whether had to include or not to include. It may be appropriate to aggregate individually insignificant items such as molds, tools, dies, and to apply the criteria to the aggregate value. It may be appropriate to aggregate individually insignificant items. Mold. So when we aggregate, it does not have such significant value. Illustration. An entity manufactures chemical. It's servicing its manufacturing plant using specialized saving equipment, specialized servicing equipment that is unique to the servicing requirement of its plant. That equipment, that servicing equipment cannot be used for other plant, other machines. Can be used only for that particular machine. State whether that equipment amounts to asset or expenditure of the year and why. So can we include as PPE or not? Can we recognize as a PPE asset or an expenditure? The value of that special unique servicing equipment. The answer, the servicing equipment is classified as property plant equipment because it's unique. It can be used only in connection with the entity's plant and is expected to be used in more than one accounting period. Then can be recognized as PPE. We can include the cost of that servicing equipment in the cost of that plant. Right. This is the decision rule. Spare parts and servicing equipment. Regarding spare parts and servicing equipment. If yes, then we go for this one. Economic benefit associated with the item will flow to the entity for more than 1 year. The spare part or servicing equipment can be used for more than 1 year. If the answer is no, less than 1 year, then it can be categorized as expenditure for the year. No, it can be used for more than 1 year. Then we go for another question. Are they major spare parts and standby equipment and unique and specialized servicing equipment? If it is unique and the major spare part and standby equipment, it how many criteria here? It should be a major spare part, yeah, or it should be a standby equipment, and also it should be and unique and specialized. If yes, we can recognize as PP, can categorize as PP. Otherwise, it is not unique, or it is not major, or it is not standby equipment, then we can categorize as expenditure. Then recognition. So it's another major part. We will discuss this in the next class tomorrow. Right, I will send you an attendance sheet. Please mark your attendance.